Hello students, welcome to Sir's classes. In this video, I will be solving the following question from IES 2015 paper 2. Now, in this question, we have to distinguish between the control charts for variables and control chart for attributes. And then we have to add that when do we say that the process is in control, and suppose if all the points of a control chart falls above the central line, then what will be the conclusion? So first let us start with the distinguish between control chart for variables and control chart for attributes. Now, the variable control chart, it is used when the data is continuous. So it is used when data is continuous. When the data is continuous. And control chart for attribute, it is used when the data is for defects or defectives. When the data is for defects or defectives. So, this control chart for variables, it provides more information about the data than the control chart for attribute. And even though this control chart for variable, it provides more information, sometimes it becomes very uneconomic. So it becomes impractical and uneconomic. Sometimes it becomes impractical and uneconomic. Whereas this control chart for attributes, even though it provides lesser information, it is very easily understood. So it is easily understood. So it is easily understood and thereby less costly. So this control chart for attributes, it are usually done for defects and defectives. Even though it provides less information, it is easily understood and is less costly. So these two are some of the advantages of control chart for attributes over variable. However, it provides lesser info than the control chart for variable. In fact, this control chart for variables, it is also considered as leading indicator of trouble. Leading indicator of trouble that will sound an alarm before the number of rejects increases in the production process. So it is a leading indicator of trouble that will sound alarm before the number of rejects, it increases in the production process. So this is the difference between the control chart for variables and control chart for attributes. Now, next is when will we say that the process is in control. Now, in quality control processes is said to be in control if the process is said to be in control if in the process the variations among the observed samples. So if the variation among the observed samples they can be attributed to a constant system of chance causes. So, if the variation among the observed samples can be attributed to a constant system of chance causes, that is, the variation that is between the observations or the variation between the observed samples, if those variations they are only due to the system of chance causes, then the system is said to be in control. So a system is said to be in statistical control if in such process the variation among the observed samples can be attributed to a constant system of chance causes. And while graphically representing it, if the observations they are between the control limits, that is below the upper control limit and above the lower control limit, then the system is said to be, so if the observations they are below the upper control limit and above the lower control limit, that is they are between the control limits, then the system is said to be in control. Now the next is, suppose all the points in the control chart they fall above the central line. So suppose this is the central line, that is CL, it is lower control limit LCL and it is upper control limit. So if all the points it falls above the central line, in this situation what we say is happening is run. That is the situation where more than 7 points or 7 points in row they fall in one side of control, they fall in one side of central line. So if 7 points in row they fall in one side of the central line, then we say that it is a situation of run. And in case of run, so it is a situation of run, and in case of run the process is generally, though not necessarily, considered as out of control. So in case of run it is considered as out of control. So here if all the points they fall above the center line, then the situation is the occurrence, or we call this situation as run. And in presence of run, generally the situation is out of control, that is we call that the system is, or the process is out of control.